Welcome to the Two D's and an F podcast with your hosts,
April and Erin.
Welcome back to the Two D's and an F podcast. This is not Jay or Mikey. This is Mrs. Mikey. I am taking over for the boys this week. Mr. Michael has the bronchitis and Jay is hanging out with his family. So I have one of my good friends, Erin, here. And Erin, we've known each other for about 10 years now?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, from the old credit union world.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about maybe some cats, maybe some astrology, who knows really. But make sure that you go and check out patreon.com/MBN Network. $5 helps the network out a whole ton. We're really glad that they picked up the show, and they have great episodes on might be brews, might be tunes, might be sports, pretty much any topic that you're interested in. You can go ahead and check out Taylor and the gang. But yeah, so Erin, what have you been up to? I saw on Instagram that was it a birthday trip that you took?
Yes, it was. One of my friends and I decided that we're going to do super random short birthday trips, going forward. And we went to Tulsa for mine.
Okay.
Yes, our favorite band was playing a show in their hometown. So we went to see them. It was a very, very quick trip. But it was fun.
Nice. What band was it?
A little band that you all might know from the 90s called Hanson.
I think a couple of people might have heard their songs. So
Maybe,
a little boom bop here.
We should play
that's fun. Yeah, right. Now that's going to be what we play for the rest of the episode. Oh, no, that's awesome. Me and Mike have a mystery trip that he's talked about on the show a couple of times coming up in October. I planned it's almost 2 weeks long. He has no idea where we're going, what we're doing. So that was I had a little bit of a travel bug and I needed to do something about it. So we've had a countdown going for about 2 months and we are at 94 days away. So I can't wait.
I'm assuming you can't reveal too much because
I know, right? Because he's gonna edit this and then it'll ruin it. Then I'll have to plan a new one. But he keeps going back and forth. He's like, all right, I'm either excited or kind of nervous. I have no idea what we're doing, but it should be fun. One of my girlfriends, the other day we got an email from Carnival about the cruises coming up from Florida. And I could not pass down the deal. I just couldn't pass it up. So I messaged her and I told her pretty much you have to go on vacation with me and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. So please call your boss. And she was able to get off. So we're going to go on a cruise out of Miami the end of next month.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. But
how
you've
are
had
you?
some. Sorry.
I was just going to say, how are you going to reveal the surprise trip?
Oh, once we get to the airport and he checks his ticket.
I love
that. Yeah, I'm packing. I'm doing everything. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm pretty, and he's like, well, is it Europe? Do we need our passports? Is it Canada? Where are we going? Like, you're getting absolutely no hints whatsoever. Yeah. But yeah, so I've almost spilled the beans so many times because I am excited for the trip, but that's kind of also why I had to plan a trip with my girlfriend. I was like, I need to do something. Otherwise, I'm going to keep talking about this trip and that's it. I'm going to blow it.
Get it out. Get it right. A little bit.
Yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, how did you do throughout the pandemic? Were you working from home for a while or?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was able to get one more trip in literally right before everything shut down. I got back March 9th. And everything was starting to get a little crazy. Yeah. And I called my boss and I was like, do you think I should quarantine for 2 weeks before I come back in? And I guess she talked to the higher ups and they said yes. And they were very strict about everything. So I wasn't I didn't have a laptop or anything at that point. So it was like I was quote unquote working from home.
Yeah.
But they had to like just send me like InDesign files and stuff, and I would just work on that on my laptop. But like I didn't have access to email or anything. So it was like a nice relaxing 2 weeks of doing practically nothing.
Yeah.
And then
you were in Scotland, or you were in Europe? Okay.
Yeah, I went to Barcelona with my travel buddy Amber.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. Yeah, and then they decided to go 100% work from home, the entire company, like right as my 2 weeks was about to be up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, like a lot of people during the pandemic, you started a small business, right? Was it Shop 𝘍𝘍𝘐𝘍?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
So I'm in an astrology community, and I've made a lot of friends, and we're all so proud of, our little birth charts and star signs and all that. And so I just wanted people to have a way to like represent who they are. And I didn't really see anyone else in this particular community doing this. So I started making custom sun, moon, and rising shirts for people. So it's just on Etsy, and people just fill out what their signs are specifically, and then I make it up for them.
Nice. And something I really like about your shirts is it's not super in your face. It's just a little small design that shows what you are. And there's something on the sleeve as well. I saw you did some custom ones. And
Yep. There's like little illustrated, like I'm a Cancer, for example. So like I have a little crab on my sleeve.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm an Aries, so I would have a little ram.
You would, yeah.
Would. Oh no, I feel like you're judging me for being an Aries now.
No, not at all.
So what got you into astrology?
I mean, I've always been into like sun sign astrology. Like everyone knows, the day that you're born, what sign you are. So, whenever my parents would go to the supermarket when I was little, I would run over to the magazines and look up the horoscopes and stuff. But then, more recently, I guess it's 3 years ago now, I found out that there's a lot more to it than that. And, with my birth date, birth time, and birthplace, I was able to look up the whole, what they call a birth chart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically a 360-degree wheel that's kind of a blueprint of what the stars and planets looked like at the moment that you were born. So, yeah. And I feel like it just made a lot of sense and helped a lot with self-discovery and things like that. And it's very interesting, and understanding other people then when I was able to look at their birth charts.
Yeah, because I think of astrology kind of similarly to, like, you and I went to Judge Bradley when we were in the credit union world. It's a leadership program, and you learn all about different personality types, whether you're dominant, inquisitive. I can't even remember what they are, but there's so many of them. But people kind of shy away from astrology when it's really so similar to other personality types that people trust so much. And there is a lot to be said for when you're born, where you're born, how it impacts you throughout your life. What kind of stuff have you learned through your journey through it, learning astrology and learning, digging deeper into it, that you didn't really expect? Anything interesting about yourself or how you interact with others?
I think following the moon cycles is pretty interesting, and like getting more into manifesting, which I guess is more of like a magical practice than an astrological practice, but I guess they kind of go hand in hand.
And what do you mean by that? Just basically saying something into being, like?
Pretty much. And in manifesting, specifically in my practice, I was taught that you need to do something in the physical realm and the astral realm because what you want, what you desire is currently in the astral realm, but everything you have is in the physical realm. So you need to kind of do a ritual, basically, to put it out into the universe completely in the physical realm and the astral realm. And working with the moon cycles is kind of a helpful little calendar, a helpful little tracker, so that, full moons are good for releasing, which is a huge part of manifestation, because you have to let things go in order to make room for what is to come. So yeah, full moons are good for releasing, and then new moons are good for kind of calling things in. So I think that's been a big addition to my magical practice. But as far as astrology goes, I think it's just helped me have more compassion for people, and especially people that I'm close to. Like, obviously, I have all of my family members' birth charts, and
Hi, what time were you born?
Yeah. Yep, I made my parents go find their birth certificates. So
I'm not asking for any specific reason. I just need to know. I need to understand you.
I just need to know everything about you. No big deal. I need to know all your secrets.
Oh, next week's not going to be good for you.
Oh, no. No, I don't do predictive astrology. That's beyond my pay grade.
Oh, gosh.
Astrology is the oldest philosophical study. So, way back in ancient times, astrology and astronomy were the same thing.
Okay.
And it was more of like a respected science, I guess. And so all of the personality tests that exist today, they all stem back to astrology eventually. So obviously some of them are more far removed, but generally that's where they all come from.
Are there different types? So where did, excuse me. So astrology, it's been around for a very long time. Was it like Eastern, like Western, Eastern? Where did it kind of stem from? Did different cultures have something very similar? Because as you look back in history, you find that South America, they had very similar practices to Asia, but they're so far away, and obviously they weren't just talking to each other, but there was something to reading the stars and doing things a certain way that, as you look back, a lot of cultures did do things similar, even though they had absolutely no interaction with one another. So where kind of have you learned that astrology came from or stemmed from?
I mean, I don't know that there's one specific place that it stemmed from, but for example, Indian astrology is more traditional, and I think it's more ancient than what most people learn about today. And a lot of people do learn about it. And it is, it's very traditional. And now there's also Hellenistic astrology, which is also very traditional. And then there's modern astrology. And modern astrology comes in as new planets and new stars are discovered. So like in traditional astrology, for example, the sign of Scorpio is ruled by Mars because they hadn't discovered Pluto yet. So in modern astrology, they believe that Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. And so Pluto, and then Pisces is another one that in traditional astrology, it's ruled by Jupiter. And in modern astrology, it is ruled by Neptune. Aquarius is another one. Yeah, so that has 2 ruling planets. So people, I don't know. I don't like to tell people that they're wrong in practicing in any certain way unless they tell me that the signs have changed, which is a rumor
I've
going
heard
on.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
What's
just
that?
they discovered a new constellation. But that doesn't mean that it's like a new zodiac sign. Like there are tons of constellations that aren't zodiac signs.
Yeah.
And the zodiac signs are again based on ancient studies. So they are what they are, and they're not.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was a couple of years ago, I was doing something and I looked up horoscope and it said that I was something completely different than an Aries. I'm like, no, that's not right. I'm gonna close the browser. Thanks, internet. But that's, yeah, it was beyond my understanding of, that was just too confusing then at that point.
Yeah.
One thing that I also really like about you is that you're not afraid to post about poop. And that's ever since I met you, like you're just like, yep, everybody poops. And now I work in a GI practice now. So it's so interesting. And like, I'm surrounded by people who just have no qualms about being like, yeah, what's your stomach like? What's every day like? Like, it's just, yeah. So
yeah,
really interesting.
I try to normalize it as much as possible. I mean, I was diagnosed with Crohn's when I was 11. So, you know, that's what, 21 years now.
Is that young for diagnosis for Crohn's, or is that like, when does that usually manifest itself?
I think it's usually a little older, but I don't know. It's hard to say because nowadays they're diagnosing it more correctly than they used to.
Oh, okay.
But I think for the time it was unusual for a child.
Okay.
To be diagnosed.
I know we have a good number of children who come in for infusions and just regular practices. And that's definitely, I think it's much different. When I was going to school, I didn't know anyone who had any issues. Like it just wasn't something that was commonly known. But now I definitely see a lot more children who, I mean, gut issues, they lead to a lot. Oh, there's a cat. Everyone, she has just brought a cat on. I'm sorry that you don't have video for this. What's that cat's name?
This is Valentina.
Valentina. Hello, Valentina.
She's being bad and biting Penny, so I had to separate them.
I have 2 that just fell asleep right behind me, so they're good now. But yeah, people don't realize how many issues stem just from your gut, of just gut health and slow digestion, bad diet, just all sorts of things. They lead to a lot of problems like headaches and tiredness and skin problems and much worse problems as well. But I took care of my mom for a couple of years after she had diverticulitis, or whichever one was the when it manifests itself into like worseness. I can never remember if it's diverticulitis or diverticulosis, whatever the bad one is. Yeah. But then she ended up with an ostomy and had to take care of her for a while, and then numerous surgeries, hernia surgeries, all sorts of things. But over the years, I've learned a lot more about how important it is to really pay attention to your gut. I mean, in more ways than one. Like everyone always says, listen to your gut, but really paying attention to your gut, and see someone when you need it. But now it's pretty cool because I work in the practice. I'm not a nurse or anything, but I get to do a lot of stuff and see a lot of files. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm an executive assistant to our president and our COO, so I get to be in all the interesting things. Ooh. And it's an independent practice too, so it's not owned by one of like the big Penn Staters. So we actually get to still be little and interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Trying to find a new doctor right now.
What was that? Oh, because you're back in Florida now?
Yeah.
Gotcha. How long have you been in Florida? You've been there for a while, back and forth, I know, but you've been there for a few years?
Yeah, I moved down here in May of 2015.
Okay.
And then I only moved back for like 6 months.
Enough to see snow. I saw you posting pictures of the snow.
Yeah, I know. Of course, I had to move back to Pennsylvania in the coldest time of year, and then back to Florida in the hottest time of year.
Yeah, it was, I think, 103, or it had like a real feel of 103 today.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, it's too much. Our family had moved to Florida for about 10 years. But yeah, they had moved down to Florida, and we would always visit them in like November or March and just try to go down during those times that are really nice.
Oh, it is so nice during those times.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my brother to come visit, but he is not a fan of the humidity.
Yeah, that's a kicker.
Yeah. I mean, it does suck. But he is like extra grumpy about it, so he'll wait until maybe November, between November and February.
Yeah, during the holiday season. There you go. That's better to see family anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, well, I had some notes here about all sorts of things. So you're back in the credit union world. I miss the credit union world. I really do.
I didn't realize how much I did until I started going through orientation, and they're, telling you about the credit union mission. And I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, I feel it in the feels again.
Yeah.
It really, I mean, everyone right now is so, it's definitely an interesting time to be alive. Like, things are really going towards a much better, trying to be better for so many more people, and being more inclusive and being just better human beings. And that was something that I really liked for the most part. I mean, you get bad eggs no matter where you are, but for the most part in the credit union world, I really liked that people honestly just wanted to help people no matter who you were. But that's something that I kind of miss being in. Like, obviously I'm in the medical practice. We want to help people all the time as well, but it's just not my role anymore. I'm not in the position to help someone. But you do marketing, is that correct?
Yes. Social media specifically.
Okay. How'd you get into doing that?
I did. I went to school for marketing. And I thought I wanted to do sports marketing. So I had an internship, and my first job were in sports. And then I didn't like that anymore. So I was just trying to find another job, and I randomly landed at a credit union. And then after that, another credit union. And then, and then I just, and then I moved here, and I worked for a food services company, and then a bank, and then another bank, and then now a credit union. So I feel like I'm definitely stuck in financial services at this point.
I would say so. Yeah. Yeah. But you have it's a very marketable skill, especially if you're really good at social media, because that's so much of what people are doing right now. I don't understand the TikTok. I don't understand those newfangled social medias.
Yeah.
The kids nowadays. I
know. During the pandemic, not that it's over, but the height of it, I was very addicted to TikTok, or watching TikTok, not making them. I am 34 years old. I don't need to be making TikToks.
You weren't doing the dances?
Yeah, nobody needs to see that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, TikTok, and now they have like the reels on Instagram where it just traps you into it, just one after another. And it's that, I think what traps people the most is it's like a double back that you have to do, or like you have to exit twice kind of to get out of it. So as soon as you click to go out, it just refreshes the page. And then you're like, hey, this one's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
They talked to Taylor, who runs the MBN network. He talked a lot about The Social Dilemma. Have you ever seen that show on Netflix? I think it was.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
I have to watch it. Yeah, they were saying, he was saying a lot about how it goes into kind of the psychology of how they trick people into becoming addicted to social media, and how it's impacting the youth, and how it's really changing things. And it's all stemming from like the Facebooks of the world of not only do they have so much data on you, but their main goal is just to keep you addicted to social media. That's literally their goal. And it's hard. Like me and Mike will have days where we're like, all right, let's just put our phones down, and still we're checking our phones all day because you're expecting a notification or you're expecting something, and it's hard to get away from it.
Yeah. I deactivated my Facebook page last year. Facebook was always my least favorite site anyway. And then
it's a dumpster fire now. Don't come back.
Yeah. I mean, in the middle of last year, it was like, here's the lighter.
So, last year was especially bad.
Yeah, it was. And that was the last straw for me. Although I do want to get back on to download like all my old pictures, because I think that's really the only place that I have them anymore. And then I turned off my notifications for Instagram so that I'm not constantly, I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm like getting notifications all the time, but
well, you're very popular.
Yeah,
no, I know what you mean though. We just got new phones a couple months ago, and like the settings, you have to reset everything. But for 2 days, I'm like, why the heck is my phone just going off nonstop? I was getting Facebook notifications, such and such like this person, so-and-so's going live. I don't care. Like, but I had forgotten that I had gone through the process of just getting all of those notices away. And then we have a couple of businesses, so we have multiple Instagram profiles, and I was getting notices from. It's just too much. It's way too much. It's easier to just go in, see if you have a notification rather than constantly being prompted.
Exactly. Yeah. Although when I'm not doing anything, I do find myself getting trapped in opening, like the circle of opening the app.
Have you ever been like on a desktop computer on Facebook, and then you check your phone and you're on like I've gone from one device to the next, just being like, ooh, let me change my, nope, I'm doing the exact same thing.
I'm like, I just looked at this. What am I doing?
Then sometimes I trick myself into believing I'm doing better because I'll go on LinkedIn. Like, I'll just go on LinkedIn. There you go. That's new and exciting. That's work related.
Gosh. That's healthier.
Even that's getting crazy. Just
it's
just too much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I am glad that I grew up. I think I'm like 75 years older than you, but no, I think I'm a couple of years older maybe. But I am glad that I grew up in the time like it was right on the cusp of everyone having a cell phone, no one having a cell phone. I remember being a senior and we would go to school. Like I think it was one of those Nokia like block phones that were indestructible. And then our senior year, the freshmen coming in, they were just mouthy and bad. Like, I don't know what the difference was. And I don't want to say it was like that senior freshman divide. It was more than that. Like we all kind of noticed it like, wow, they're really different. And so that would have been 2004, which means that would be the class of like 2008 that they were like, then they were, like even like we have some nieces and nephews and friends with children that are like 10 to probably 16 would be all of our friends' kids' ages. And they are just addicted to the virtual reality things. I'm glad that we didn't grow up then. We had different skills.
Yeah, I know. I think about that all the time. And sometimes I wonder if that's why our generation has so much nostalgia, because we kind of grew up with both.
Yeah.
Like
it wasn't very weird.
Yeah. Yeah. We were children, basically during, the tech boom and going back and playing outside. And
did you have like the family computer where you would have it?
You can go on the internet for 1 hour per night.
And then my mom would pick up the phone and she'd be like, who's on the internet? I'm like, no, I'm disconnected from AIM. Oh no.
I didn't get to put an away message up or say goodbye to my crush.
I didn't say BRB, okay? Oh my gosh. I remember when like, oh my God, what was the there was one like parents in the room can't talk. I can't remember what the abbreviations are now, but that was back when like LOL first was a thing. And I met my first boyfriend on AIM.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was the original like online dating.
ASL, right?
Yes.
We would ask each other that.
Oh my gosh. No, my friend Stephanie and I, we were like, we had a crush on this boy in Meister Singers, which was the singing group that we were in school. And we went on to go talk to him on AIM one time. And then I can't remember how you do it now because it's been forever, but we found out how you can talk to like people's friends. And then we would message, be like, hey, so what's Andrew up to? It was so stupid. But yeah, that's how we started to make new friends. And that was the original online dating, I think.
Yeah. Very organic, very grassroots.
Yep. And the T9 texting, how I would just text in my pockets all day. Like, yep. Oh my gosh. I started my job a couple months ago, but before that I was self-employed and working from home for a couple years, which was awesome. But the job I had before I went home to work, there was a young woman there, maybe 19, maybe she might have even been 18. And a couple of us older people were talking about Y2K when it was like New Year's. We were like, oh, remember Y2K? She was like, what's that? It's like, you don't know what Y2K was? Like, I wouldn't tell her. And I told her, no, you can't look it up on the phone, because she immediately went to her phone to look it up. I was like, just try to figure it out. See if it's in your brain somewhere. She's taking notes. She's like trying to figure it out. She said, oh, you're too kind. And I was like, it's like, no, but that is adorable that you think that. So yeah, the kids nowadays,
what youngins born?
I can't believe that people born in like the 2000s are adults now.
Yeah, I know. That's weird. My two youngest cousins like can drink now.
Isn't it strange? You're a baby. Yeah. I held you in my arms. You're a child.
Yeah, that's not okay. I'm not well.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think about my parents. By my age, they had a 16-year-old brat by now. Yeah, that's me. I'm an only child. But yeah, I would have been 16 at their age, because they are what? Yeah. They had me at 19, I think. So I would have been 16 by now at my age. That's insane. Could you imagine having kids that are adults right now?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. No. Our little niece, she is smart as a whip. And I am hoping that, because she's 9, I think she's 9 right now. Like, I hope that teenage years go smart, like go quickly and go easily. I don't know what it's like raising a teenager now, but her and my sister-in-law are both just like so intelligent, but they're also so similar. Mm-hmm. And me and my mom were super similar, and we did not get along. So,
yeah, that's something I realized with astrology is, you can inherit placements. And so I am a lot more like my mom than I ever thought.
Isn't it strange? Like, as I've gotten older, and especially like with my mom staying with us for so long, I got to see her. I haven't lived with them since I was 18 years old. I got to see her in a completely different way, of her at a different season in her life of this is who you are now. Okay. Wow. We are really similar. And like my poor husband, I mean, bless his heart, he let my mother-in-law live here for basically a year while I was taking care of her. And he had to put up with both of us sometimes. Like, she would get real high strung and just stressed out about health things. And then I would get stressed out because she's stressed out. And Mike would just be like, hey, I'm going to the store. Anybody want anything? And you come back 6 hours later. Like, okay, thanks for giving us time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's interesting, like living with and experiencing your parents as an adult yourself.
Yeah, it's so different.
Mm-hmm. Although I feel like my parents have way more fun than I do. Like, they're like always going to like breweries and going on little trips and stuff. And I'm like, you guys are exhausting just thinking about all the activities that you're doing.
You guys are really energetic. Like, how do you do it?
I know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like even my dad, seeing him, like he cannot sit still for all day. Like I come home from work and I'm like, I need to take a nap, please. I need to lay down, put my feet up.
Yep. I didn't even go to work today. I worked from home and I still took a nap before this.
Oh, yeah. Naps are severely underrated when you're younger. Like I love a good nap nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. Our old cat, Mr. Peepers, he used to love naps as well. He was very good, but we had him. I had broken my tailbone and I basically smelled like icy hot for like 3 years because it was either icy hot or Bengay. Yeah. And as soon as I would put icy hot on, it would mean I'm going to go lay down and take a nap. And he learned that. Like he would learn, okay, she's grabbing the thing, and he would go jump in bed. Like, you're too smart and adorable. And now I can't say no to you now.
I know. That's so cute.
Oh my gosh. I love them. So you, a couple of years ago, I think you had fostered a cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? What's that process?
So I honestly don't remember exactly how I mean, I know the organization that I fostered the cat through was a Bengal specific rescue or like network kind of thing.
Okay.
And I think that it was that I saw the post on Facebook and I kind of volunteered myself to foster him. It was probably more stressful than it should have been because I was living in an apartment and my cats are not huge fans of other cats. Like they're not even huge fans of each other sometimes. So I had to keep him in, and he was really sick. He had
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. He had an upper respiratory issue. And so I wanted to keep them all separated so that my cats didn't catch what he had. And they didn't even tell me about it, that he had something. Otherwise I may not have fostered him, you know?
Yeah, because you have to take your animals into consideration when what you're bringing into your house. Yeah.
Right. I mean, he was so sweet, like the sweetest little dude. And every time I would come in there, he was like purring up a storm. I had him in my bathroom, he did not want to be in there. He wanted to be free and loose, and which is totally understandable. I mean, Bengals have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would get very excited when I would go in there, and instead of having the bright bathroom lights on all the time, I ended up decorating the bathroom with Christmas lights.
Oh, nice. And did he play with them?
No, he did not.
That just looks like something like we have in Mike's office here, we have the Christmas lights as a design, and for the longest time, they just kept going at them, but now they're just bored with them, which I'm very glad about.
That's good.
Because that's not fun. Cats are funny.
I know. The things that they decide are toys, like the door stoppers in this new apartment that I'm in. Penny keeps ripping off the little plastic piece. I'm like, dude.
Oh my gosh. We had to uninstall our door stoppers. They were the ones that like, they go bing.
Yes.
They would wake us up in the middle of the night, just these bing. And sometimes they would get it really, really good. Mm-hmm. Like that's impressive, but it's also 3 a.m. Can you just please stop? So we finally took we have numerous things in this apartment that we've just completely disassembled that we plan to put together once we move.
Yeah. Yeah, that has happened to me with plastic blinds. I'm like, well, you've destroyed these, so I guess I'll just replace them when I move out.
Yep. Yeah, in our apartment complex, it's so funny because you can drive down the neighborhood and you can tell which houses have animals. Like, okay, yep, you have cats. They are completely destroyed up to a certain level of where they want to see out, and it's hilarious. They're so cute. Yeah, we have 4 boys now. So we have Jasper and Bubby, who are our boys.
Mhm.
And then Thomas, we were watching for my mother-in-law because she had gotten sick. And then somehow he stayed here. I kept telling Mike to like, please return him. Like, can we please return Thomas? Because I was falling in love with him.
Mm.
And Mike was like, yeah, just another couple weeks. It's fine. And now he's ours. And then I think it was the first week Mike worked from home. He was all excited because he didn't have to, like during the pandemic, he didn't have to drive to and from work. So he was done work actually at 5. It was exciting to him. So he started going for walks right after work.
Mhm.
And the one day he called me and he was like, oh, there's this cat. It keeps following me. I'm like, oh, that's cute. So like 2 hours passed and he calls me. He's like, it's getting ready to rain and this cat followed me to the street. What am I going to do? I'm like, oh, does it have a collar? What does it have? And it had a collar. So I said, all right, I'll come over. I'll bring a cat carrier. We'll take him home, try to find its owner. We literally did the old fashioned thing of putting flyers up, like stapling them to telephone poles, everything. And sorry, there was a cat as I'm talking right now. We did that, like everything, and no one wanted this cat back. And he was the sweetest thing. Just he would snuggle and he would fall asleep on my chest. Like and we kept him in our big bathroom for a while because the same thing. We didn't know if he had any troubles.
Yeah.
So we had him checked out. We ended up having him fixed. And then as soon as we had him fixed, normally like boy animals, they get a lot like sweeter.
Yeah.
He 100% turned. I don't know what it was in him, but he started to attack. And I was like, well, now we can't give him to a shelter or anything because they're going to put him down. Like he's a really mean cat right now. So then we figured, let's keep him long enough to just train him how to be good again. Like we know it's in him. We know like maybe he's just upset because of everything that just happened. Maybe I don't know if they maybe messed something up and now he's in pain. I have no idea. So we ended up taking him to a couple of vet appointments because he had some stomach issues, much like me. But we got him like all taken care of. And over the months, he got to be more and more sweet again. And now he's back to his little lovey-dovey self. And he's ours. So
is he getting along better with the other boy?
So much. Yeah. Maybe like a month ago was the first time. Bubby has always been our, like, he's in charge. Like,
Right.
You don't mess with Bubby. If he looks at you, you walk the other direction. Super sweet cat, but he's like the alpha male.
Right.
And him and Beavis for the longest time, they were just going at it. And maybe like a month ago, I was getting out of bed and they both were laying on the floor, like right next to each other. It's like, oh, it's happening. It's really happening. So, but now they do that all the time. And he's started to let the other cats clean him and he's starting to clean them. So they love each other.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Yes. I'm pretty much like a great cat mom. So that's
basically like
that's my life. Oh my gosh. Yeah. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they both have our nephew is coming due next month. So we're going to meet him soon, but they're going to both have 2 kids. And like over the years, people are like, oh, so when are you guys having kids? We're like, well, we have 3 cats. Now we have 4 cats. Yeah. So I don't know who you're paying attention to, but these children, they require constant attention.
They do. And they just have a lot of hair. That's all.
There's so much hair. And I usually try to like decat for myself as soon as I get to work, because that way I know all the cat fur from the car is gone. Everything is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 or 4 days ago, my boss came in like in a frantic. She was like, hey, I need you to run into this meeting. It was a meeting with our whole board and I didn't have a chance to decat for myself. So I'm trying to sit in the back, like slowly picking white cat fur off of a black sweater. Like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm the new girl and I'm a crazy cat person. So that was fun.
I feel like that happens to me all the time, where I'll think I've gotten all the cat hair off and then like you get into the light and you're like, oh,
you're like, oh, wow. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Or someone's like, oh, hey, you have that. I'm like, thanks a lot for pointing it out because I tried really hard. Okay. You could have let it go. Oh my gosh. Well, anything else you want to talk about? Oh, tell me about your brother's band. We have a song that we're going to play when we kind of end the episode so that everyone can hear a local band from Philly?
Yeah. So my brother and his best friend, they've been playing music together for a really long time. And I think I apologize if I'm getting the story wrong, but I'm pretty sure that his friend Matt was kind of in this band, and they invited Cameron, who's my brother, to join them.
Okay. What does your brother play, or does he sing?
He sings and he plays the guitar.
Okay.
They are called 𝘸𝘩𝘪𝘴 for Breakfast.
How did they come up with that name? Do you know?
I don't know, actually. I need to find that out, but I have one of their stickers on my water bottle, and it's like some waffles with some cigarettes stuck in them. You know, as you do.
That's one of the things that I love about local band. Like, I mean, all bands have an origin story to their names and everything, but like local bands, it's always kind of just even more interesting to be like, ooh, yeah.
I know, I love it. And they play at a place called 𝘦𝘱𝘪𝘴𝘰𝘥𝘦 a lot.
Okay.
They support them mainly. They did a couple live stream shows during the pandemic there, and
nice.
streamed them on Facebook. So that was really fun to help raise money for this bar 𝘦𝘱𝘪𝘴𝘰𝘥𝘦, you know, because obviously they were hurting. So yeah, they do a ton of stuff like that. They're kind of in the shoegaze category, kind of dream pop. Some of the songs sound like, but yeah. I think the song they gave you is probably my favorite song, called Wait. It's so good. I love it.
Very nice. How long has he been playing with them?
It's been a few years now. Yeah.
It's pretty good. That's some of the things like about the smaller bands is they'll change players so often. Like, I'm a band wife. I always have been ever since me and Mike started dating. He'll go from one band to the next, and then all of a sudden he's in 3 bands. Like, what are you doing? Like, where are you even supposed to be? Like,
which band is this for?
Exactly. And he would just tell me where to show up. He's like, hey, show up in Fishtown. And oh my gosh, I can't even count the number of times that I went out with hooker boots, like going down Fishtown, walking by myself because I'm trying to get there looking all cute. Oh my gosh, that's so bad. But yeah, sorry.
I was just gonna say they're doing a vinyl pre-order thing right now. So they're going to 𝘸𝘱𝘪𝘴𝘰𝘥𝘦 in Brooklyn in August, and they are recording personalized 7-inch records of a song of your choosing, straight to vinyl.
I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah, I know. It sounds so cool. Like, the place is 𝘸𝘱𝘪𝘴 space VALL, but it's 𝘸𝘱𝘪𝘴𝘰𝘥𝘦.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just like went to their Instagram page and ordered from the link in their bio.
Okay.
Their Instagram is 𝘸𝘩𝘪𝘴𝘪𝘴 for Breakfast Band.
Okay. You always have to have the band at the end.
I know.
Yep. Either that or like 𝘸𝘩𝘪𝘴𝑒 for Breakfast Philly. Like, so many of the bands that we're friends with, their names were already taken on Instagram. They're like, just add Philly to it, or just add WC for Westchester. Like, okay.
You gotta differentiate ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh no, awesome. So we'll make sure to link that in the information below. And I think that's just about everything on my list of things that I was thinking about bending your ear about.
Yeah, I so appreciate you. You beautiful Aries queen, you.
Listen, I appreciate you. You Cancer, awesome woman. I'm liking the hair too.
Oh, thank you. I've been embracing my curls over the pandemic.
That's a lot. That's a TikTok thing too, is I never knew I had curly hair until And then
Oh,
like you'll
really?
see people, yeah, it's like you'll run to the thing and they learn how to scrunch it properly and all that good stuff.
Oh, I knew.
You're like, no,
Trust
I
me.
got it.
There's no question over here.
I learned the one TikTok hack that I actually learned and I love. It's basically a gigantic sock. I have to tie two together because my hair is real long, but you put it on your head, kind of like a headband, and then you just wrap your hair real loosely around it, and it's no heat curls. It takes me like an hour to curl my hair, and then halfway throughout the day, the curls are dead. Just my hair doesn't hold curls. It never has. And that hack, it's marvelous. I wake up in the morning and it takes 2 seconds to take a sock out, and then all day people are like, "Ooh, your hair's so curly." Yeah.
Do you do it on dry hair or damp?
I make sure that my hair is dry, and then I'll spritz it with leave-in conditioner so that it kind of dampens it a little bit, but then it's also easier to brush through because I don't know what my hair is supposed to be. It's like a wavy kind of curl, but it doesn't really make sense. Before I started dyeing it, it was beautiful, beautiful wavy brown hair, but now it's lived a life. It's seen better days. but
it's
no,
so
this
thick and luscious though.
Oh, it's thick.
Y'all need to see this hair. It's so beautiful.
It's a lot. It's a big head of. It's a
Yeah,
big mane. One of my girlfriends, she always used to say, "Do you have a weave?" Like, what is this? Like, no, it's just so much. Yeah, when I would show up at the hairdressers to get my hair done for proms and stuff, I would always put it up in a big old bun because that's the easiest thing to do.
Yep.
And they'd be like, "Okay, like we'll do this," and they would keep scheduling people after me. I'm like, "No, we're going to be curling for a while. Like, you don't want to do that." And every single time, 4 years of high school, going to the same place, they would still overbook. Like, they would still book too close. Like, you know how much hair I have. What is your problem? Yeah. And then
I feel bad for my, the girl that does my hair now. I'm like, well, schedule me for 3 hours.
Yep. Mine takes like 3.5, especially if I'm getting a haircut. Hashtag first world problems. Am I right?
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't complain about having a lot of hair. Ew, that sounds terrible.
Like, I do the same thing too. I'm like, if this is the problem that I have in the day, that's a really good problem to have. But at the same time, it's my problem and I'm owning it. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Erin. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming on and saving the 2Ds and 2Ds and an F podcast. Helps if I know the name of my husband's podcast.
I hope he feels better.
Yeah, he's getting better. He's finally gotten his voice back. This weekend, I was real nervous because I lost my voice. I didn't feel sick. I didn't like have a fever. I didn't do anything except I lost my voice for no reason. I was like, "You got me sick." So I'm glad that I have it back now. I still have a little bit of a tickle, but that's about it. So
not amount to anything.
Yeah, he is out going for a walk right now because he gets to enjoy his evening and then come back and edit stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike. Hey, Mike. Could you please do the cat litter boxes when you're checking this? Would really appreciate it. So, yeah. But anyway, thank you to the listeners. I really appreciate you listening to the guys. They love doing this. So if you could just keep listening and share with your friends, that would be great because that lets them continue to do it and it makes them happy. And they're old men, so they need some sort of joy in their life. But yeah, subscribe to the MBN Network Patreon. It's patreon.com/MBN Network. And we are going to leave you off today a little bit differently than we normally do. We're going to leave you off with the song Wait by Cigarettes for Breakfast. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
If you would like to tell your story on 2Ds and an F, email us at 2Ds and an F podcast at gmail.com. That's TWODSANDANF podcast at gmail.com. For episode segments, extras, and upcoming guest interviews, check out 2Ds and an F podcast pages on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Full-length episodes are available on YouTube, Spotify, and just about everywhere other podcasts are found. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The 2Ds and an F podcast is a Done Sound production.